Hello, Time PDL. Welcome back to season 12 of Pokemon Champions. We got the pre-draft review, pre-draft season stuff here. I'm joined with Easton, our champion from last season,
Hello.
and I got also the commissioner here, Mcfeeds.
Hello, hello.
And yeah, we'll just get right to it. We're just talk about the group some stuff like preseason show topics. So we got the season 11 review. We got underrated and overrated mons in this format, and we got the group draw, and then some advice for some of the new coaches that have joined us this season. We'll just get right into it with season 11 review. What did you guys think about the Commanders format? Would you play again in the future season?
Um, would I play it? Yes. Would I come up with 60 different commanders, attempt to balance them, update the rulebook, have all the other administrative load of it? Absolutely not.
I have the same answer as Mcfeeds, but I would put this in the same tier as the Little Cup VGC, which no one except for me apparently wants to play again. Um, I don't anticipate this format coming back anytime soon.
I was
I
down. No,
think
I'm
like
one of the people that wanted to play LC too. I think it was just you and me.
Oh, it may have
I think
just been you and me then, yeah.
I think like conceptually Commander's a cool idea for a format. You can do some like busted stuff that like makes things fun. But I think it's like inherently gonna be unbalanced. You're gonna have like Arcanine or like Ditto level threats. And if
Yeah,
you don't, if it is more like balanced out even, I don't think the format would be fun and we should just play a regular season or something that's like more standard, I guess. Like I have ideas for crazy stuff that's not Commander.
fair enough. I think the season was just like taken by surprise because I think it got put up like last second as like a vote, and then they just kind of like got surprisingly like a lot of votes. Everyone just wanted to play all of a sudden, and I don't think we gave it like enough time to like balance the stuff out. I think this project probably needed like months of like balancing and figuring out stuff, especially like testing some stuff like the Flutter Mane incidents, right? Where you have six Flutter Manes and sometimes you can't even see a Flutter Mane in the battle. Or like some other balancing stuff like Ditto and like there's a lot of stuff I think that could have been balanced. I think could have made the season like a little bit more smoother, but I don't know. I think if we take a little bit more time with the Commanders format, and buff it up, or like make it a little bit better for like a potential return at some point. Like it could be okay, but it was like an okay format. Like I'd play it again, but it's like not my favorite, I would say.
I
It is
did
my least favorite of any format we've played.
I did like a bit of a post-mortem talk with Chris, and I do think that like fundamentally the biggest issue with the format wasn't the commanders themselves. Like there were definitely outliers, but it was actually the way Terra was handled.
Fair.
Um, I
Yeah,
think that fundamentally warped the format a little too much. If we were gonna rerun it, that would need to be completely rebalanced. I think the idea of like, hey, you pick a low tier commander so it gets a buff, but it also gives you Terra, which is in itself a buff. So then you feel like the higher tier stuff isn't worth it, or like the low tier stuff is too much of an advantage, and it just is kind of a bit of a nightmare.
that's definitely how it felt after all the matches that I played. I didn't even draft in the highest commander tier, and I only used Terra once that season.
Yeah,
So
Fair.
it
I
felt
think
bad.
the hindsight fix is that rather than fully restricting Terra like so binary, like you either Terra or you can't, it'd be like Terra captains and just the tiers give you different amounts of points towards those Terra captains.
I think that's a reasonable change if we were to run the format again. Uh, that alongside a bunch of, commander fixes. I don't think the points for like just regular stuff that was drafted was off. Just some commanders, like you mentioned, were a little overbearing. Especially the Ditto commander. Um,
Um, a part of me wants to try a similar draft format with like the different tiers of Pokemon, like the different buckets of like top tier Pokemon where you get one of as like a restricted format kind of thing. Like I've thrown the idea around,
hmm,
but another part of me realizes that means somebody gets Calyrex Shadow, and there's only so many checks to that thing in existence.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that as a concept. It does pose some new balancing questions though, and we would have to see if it becomes viable without too many additional changes or, quick bans that we just have to say if this isn't available restricted, it just warps the format, right?
I think personally, and this is really funny because I drafted it, like I did not draft for this at all, but one of my things I was most excited to see about the Commander format was that we were able to put a lot of the banned Pokemon in, like stuff that never sees any season play because
Yeah.
it's a restricted, because it's a Mega that's too powerful, like stuff like that. But none of them really got to shine due to the way the Terra was structured, or like the tiers were structured. I think the only one that like really performed well was Lunala.
Yeah, that one
Mhm.
did pretty well. Especially since like if you can just get the was it Clefairy for its like a like its thing, then like I think it did like pretty well.
But yeah, I think overall I'm definitely not planning on putting this on the format vote anytime soon. I think like the earliest you'd see it would be late 2027 if it ever came back.
Yeah.
But it'd have to be like a lot of people wanting to play this again for me to put it on the vote.
Yeah, I'm assuming
I'd
you
rather
also
see
just
like a I'd rather see like a restricted format or something like Chaos Draft if you want like more rule bendy, like power fantasy kind of stuff before we go
Give me
back to
team
this.
format.
which one?
Give me team
Team.
format.
Like the one where you draft the doubles and the singles team
Sure.
Correct.
and have people duo on the team. Yeah, I mean I would be really excited for that
I,
We
I
just
season.
have
think
to
we
figure out how the pointage would work and how the match scores would work, but
I think we just need the Team Canada versus Team America show match.
True.
I don't even hate that idea as an off-season thing.
I'm assuming for the commanders format, you can't just like kind of remove Terra like as a whole, as like then like the lower tiered like commanders would just be kind of like shit and like would not even be an option anymore. Like you definitely have to probably do as like you said, right?
It would take some rebalancing, but I think you could.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I do
I think
think
Terra Illicit may work better.
Terra made it a little bit interesting because like I think there were some people were like that were saying that like they just didn't see Terra at all because like they couldn't Terra, or like there were some people that just had like multiple Terras, like they just have three Terras depending on like who they're versing, what their commander was. So it was like a little bit interesting in that sense.
Yep.
But yeah, Commander season was definitely an interesting one. But moving
Yeah,
on.
but
But I mean, hey, we have to experiment, right? And you have to be able to experiment and find different formats or it's just going to be stale. I think it's important to note that the PDL has never only followed whatever the meta format currently is. We've always had in between formats of doing like the meta format of doing a fun format. And I think that's something we want to continue because like that's part of the fun.
I agree. I think if we just ran meta only, I think we wouldn't have this many people sticking around. I think what makes like the PDL kind of like appealing to play is like there's gonna be a format where you might not like, but there's gonna be probably a format where like you're gonna like the format at some point, right? Because like we run like so many different formats. I think like probably my favorite one has to be build decks. I think like the idea of just like adding on more Pokemon to the decks every time it comes around is like pretty fun. I know like also low tier is like very popular within the old heads.
I think Build-A-Decks is super fun in the sense that like if you were to do that format once a year, no one's gonna remember what was in the decks the first season.
Yeah,
So it's completely brand new, except like the people that played in that season may have an inkling of like how it felt, right? It's such a weird feeling, but it's such a good continuation of a format that I definitely want to see that continue too. Maybe not right away, but certainly I would want to see another Build-A-Decks.
for sure. I,
I'm personally partial to Through the Generations. I think it's my favorite format we've done. I think it's like the most elegant format we've done.
It is probably my second most favorite format because my favorite format is still the Little Cup.
Oh,
But
you psycho. You psycho.
I may be a psycho, but I'm telling you that format
Hey,
was so much fun.
I would be down to try an NFE format.
I'm
Like
down.
not full Little Cup, but NFE.
So it would be like what, NFE plus Little Cup? Or sorry, like plus like
Yeah.
LC Mons?
Give me
Yeah.
Wartortle, MVP.
Any Pokemon that isn't fully evolved will be legal, obviously with maybe an outlier for like Duraludon.
Maybe Scyther.
Yeah.
Okay. I
We'd,
think
we'd, we'd have to look at that, but there's options for that format too. I'm definitely down to explore it if it's something we want to try. But I mean, through like you said, with through the generations, the way that format worked was so interesting. And now that we have a new generation that can be added to it, um, we'll be able to do that format with an additional
Yeah,
restriction on it, right?
I will definitely be putting that one back on once Wyndham Waves comes out.
fair. I think with Dual Generations too, it was like kind of like very interesting about it is you have to be very, very strategic on like the way you draft. I think like that one makes you like think the most of all the drafts, like all this formats I've done so far. Because like not only like does draft pick order matter, now you have to also consider the fact that like, hey, like, well, I want to draft like one of the best Pokemon in Generation 8 and 9, right? But if I go Generation 8, 9, 7, or whichever you think is the top three, then you know when by the time you come back to Gen 5, 4, 3, or like the lower tier ones, like you might not get like a good Pokemon. You might not even get a usable Pokemon. So it made you really think about like how you're gonna draft in through generations.
Yeah, the strategy in that was so much fun, especially with all the discourse around Generation 6 being complete crap. So you had people taking Generation 6 bonds early, despite them not being great, because they didn't want to be stuck with bottom of the barrel. Really, really cool format. I can't wait to see that come back
Yeah.
again.
For sure though, I'm like right up there with you, Ethan. I would really like to see the duo season come along. I don't know how you would point the Pokemon properly so like it's balanced between singles and doubles. I mean, I want to run personally the version where like I ran with Gamma Gate a couple seasons ago in a different league where the doubles is like completely separate and the singles is completely separate, but like your combined like scores together. I think that makes it pretty fun, but I know a lot of people also want to run it the other way as well, so we'll see what
I, I
happens there.
I think my idea is just a little different because I haven't heard of that format having been tested,
Yeah,
which is, draft one team for both. And I think that's what would be the differentiating factor. In kind of like the commander format being a test format, that would be another, like, I wouldn't call it necessarily a gimmick format, but it is technically still a gimmick format.
yeah. I don't think it would be that hard to make work. Besides like pointing the Pokemon, there's not that many outliers where you have to
Hear
just
hear me out. For weird formats like that, you just don't do pointing, you just do redraft.
I don't even hate that really. It's not even a bad idea. But we have to figure out how the game scores work too, because singles games are way longer than VGC games.
Yeah, you
And
do a air quotes best of three where the singles game counts for one game in the best of three because we're like fundamentally a doubles league, and then you play two doubles games that make up the other bit of the best of three.
fair. I think the way we've had it done like last time the leagues, and I don't know if this would like work with this, is what you do is like
I mean, I'd
the
also be down to do like a best of two where you can have a 1-1 tie where if you win the singles game but lose
the VGC one.
the VGC game, the
Yeah,
VGC best of three,
yeah.
you get like 2 points instead of like three for a win or something like
That's
that.
how we kind of do. We
I
just left
think
it.
that's maybe the best way to handle it. Because you don't want the singles game to have less importance than the doubles games or vice versa. In that kind of format, you want them both to have just as much importance.
We left it as
Yeah.
a draw in like the league that we played in. So like if the singles guy lost and the doubles guy won, you just be 1-1. And then like when playoffs came around, if it was a tie in playoffs, the higher seed gets to repick like which battle they're gonna replay, whether this is a VGC one or the singles one, which I thought was like pretty
Hmm,
good way of making it fair.
I don't
that's
hate
pretty
that
interesting. I
actually.
don't hate that. Yeah.
But yeah, I
All
think
right. Well,
we can move on to the next
yeah.
part, which is Easton's now joining the exclusive three chip club with Mcfeeds and Big Tony 2014. How you feeling about that win last season, Easton?
I mean, it feels good to get a third chip, considering I didn't expect to get even a second chip with how many good people we have in the leagues. But fortune favored me this past season, unlike the last one in which I lost playoffs to 2 games of unbelievable hacks that I will never, hopefully never ever see again. And I mean, who knows when the next person that can join the exclusive 3-chip club will ever come up. We don't even have another 2-chip winner right now.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Kaora's doing cat draft this season. He's locked in.
Oh,
Oh, well, sorry to warn you in advance, Kiora, but you should probably draft Persian Alola first pick. Otherwise, I'm taking it.
I don't
Um,
think Kaora's actually doing cat draft. I have no idea what he's doing.
so yeah, like you said, everyone has like you three have like your 3 chips. We don't have anyone that has 2 chips yet, and we just have like
It's
some 1-chip
it's
people,
literally
right?
just Kaora and Koopa. That's it.
Wow,
Is that all that's left?
that's
Yeah.
crazy. That
Yeah,
is
that
crazy.
is crazy.
We're 11 seasons. 9 of us are Miyu and Gamig. Koopa for season 4, Kaora for season 10.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. The
With the
funny
horse
part is
draft.
Gameg could actually be at 5 chips right now. 2 of my
Yeah.
chips were beating him in finals.
One of mine was beating him.
Oh, so he could have had 6.
Yeah, I think we checked it, and Gamig's been in either 7 or 8 out of all of the
Final
finals.
appearances.
But that counts 2 seasons he didn't play in.
Wow. Yeah,
Interesting.
that's quite
This guy
crazy.
is crazy, man.
What is it gonna
He's the real
take
goat.
from the rest of the PDL roster, including myself, to actually start getting some chips up there and start contesting you guys? Or do you guys think you guys are gonna run away with
Was
this for
he
as long as it's gonna
Easton?
go?
Was he the person you played in Little Cup finals?
Yes, he was.
Then yeah, the only seasons Gaming hasn't been in finals was the me versus Koopa season in season 5 and the Kaora versus um Carito season in season 10.
He wasn't in season 2 either, right?
Yeah, of the seasons he played.
He played from season
Right.
3 onwards.
Yeah, he played season 3 onwards.
It's
Yeah.
the
That's really crazy consistency in a league with so much variance too.
Yeah.
I mean, surely it's not gonna continue. Surely one of us people in this PDL roster, besides the 3 of you guys, are gonna get a chip and start contesting you guys very soon. Can't let you guys run
I
away.
mean, realistically, of the people who don't have one, who I think are most likely to get one, it's Coco, Scrafty, or you, Thunder.
Yeah. I
I'd say
mean,
probably in that order. As long as someone else knocks Gamagate out, I think Coco has a good shot. But his kryptonite is he can't beat Gamagate.
yeah,
I think Scrafty's played very well the past 2 seasons now that he's been back.
playing consistently too. Yeah.
And I think now that we're in a less weird format, it probably benefits him even more.
I thought Scrafty played amazing in the weird format, so I can't wait to see him play a regular format.
That
His
first
sets were
format
insane.
where he came back, like that one battle where he had that Drifblim with that weird set was just like one of the like such a good battle. If you remember that battle, I think it was
Hmm.
season 10. I don't remember what format it was. Oh, so I think it was through generations. He like had that Drifblim set where he was like only attacking move was Terra Blast and the rest was support. I think he had Tailwind, Will-O-Wisp, Strength Sap, and then Terra Blast Water specifically for one of the Pokemon's his opponents that he was versing was like very interesting.
He's certainly going up the list in terms of creative sets. I still think Gameg and myself top that list, but he's up there too. A bunch of people really surprised with sets this past season, not just running standard, right?
Yeah. I'm like thinking to
Um,
myself, like, when's the last time I even made like a deep enough run in the playoffs? I think the last time I made a deep enough run, like semis, was like season 5. Other than that, the only time I've ever gone far was my first season, season 2, when I went to the
Yeah,
finals against Easton.
you're even more washed than I am these days, buddy.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I see you're starting to go down a little bit. You getting some first round X's just like I am.
Yeah, I'm 3 for I have first round exited every season since we've joined Titan. We need to go back to clown gaming, damn it.
Jeez.
you can make the executive decision if you want. You're the commissioner.
I know you said like Scrappy Knight and Coco are up there for maybe to like try to catch up. I think Chris also is a very strong battler, and I think he could also have the potential to catch up as well, or like start getting some
I
chips under his belt.
I think if Chris was going to do it any season, it'd be this season. I think Chris plays a lot of standard Pokemon, so the more standard the format, the better it is for Chris.
Oh, okay,
I
so
would agree with that.
putting them together with Scrap and Knight, right? Those two like playing standard a lot.
Yeah, I think Scrafty knows the Pokemon in standard formats well, but plays weird. I think Chris knows the Pokemon in standard formats well, but plays standard.
Fair.
It's all good shoutouts. I guess let's move on to the next section, Thunder.
Yeah, the next section. This one's a very interesting one. I think this one's like recently been trying to make work, but is the PDL ready for promotion and relegation? Would he make the league more competitive, or would it hurt the PDL in the long run?
I mean, to answer your first question, is it ready? No, because it only passed by one vote out of, I think it was 28 submitted. So we're very split on it.
Fair.
As far as my personal opinion on the second one, I think it does definitely make the upper league more competitive, but I think it creates a bit of a problem for new players where like you can kind of just get caught in the wash and like that lower league becomes not as competitive, if that makes sense. Like let's say right now, like we run a season
Yeah.
with promotion relegation, and then Koopa decides to rejoin the league. I can't put Koopa in the upper leagues. We already played a season of promotion relegation, so he's got to go in the bottom league.
Yeah,
Koopa's just gonna run through the bottom league.
that is true.
The other problem with the bottom league is something that I learned when I first started playing competitive is you kind of need to lose to learn. And if you're not playing against the people that are playing the best sets, you're not going to learn either as fast or as much. Even if you're watching the games play out from the replays, it's not the same as playing against those players,
Yeah,
right?
getting like the first hand
Imagine how much
experience.
someone can learn playing against Gameg and all of his crazy team ideas, versus like someone who has played 3 or 4 seasons already in the PDL but hasn't gone made playoffs even once, right? It's not the same thing, and I think my point still holds true that that would hurt the PDL in the long run in terms of competitiveness and for learning. But I agree with Mcfeeds that the top promotion league, for example, would be a lot stronger and would be more competitive as a result.
Yeah, so I think one of the problems I came up with it is what happens like let's say like a person that's like consistently like usually doing well, but then like all of a sudden like has like a really unlucky season and just like demotes. Like would that guy just like lose interest and say I don't want to play in the bottom league, so I'm just not playing again? Like what would be the case then? It might make people
I think
lose
it
interest.
I think it also has like scheduling issues. Like, you've got people who have like disappeared for a season or two and then come back. Like, what do I do with them if that person was in the top league?
Yeah.
It's a hard discussion because like Cocoa Puffs took the last season off, but you wouldn't want to start him in the relegation league either.
Yeah.
There's a fundamental structure that we don't quite have in mind for how we would want to do it. Can it work? Absolutely. We just have to figure out a structure that works best for the PDL, and until that happens, it won't really exist.
Yeah, I do.
I think they're.
Go
I'm
ahead.
just spitballing here because I haven't actually really thought of about this until now. I think there might be a happy medium with group seating. I know it would make groups way less interesting, but having like the top 8 from last season get split amongst the 4 groups, so you don't end up with all of them in the same group to make each group more like evenly distributed, so it feels less bad as a new player when you get drawn into a crazy group.
Yeah.
But while still keeping the league the same. But that also has its own problems. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
I do think there's
It's
a lot
certainly
of
something.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's certainly something that we can talk about more during an off season when we have a longer break in between formats and kind of try to rehash on how it would look and just brainstorm. Um, Certainly it can work, but we, like I said, we need a very specific structure for it to work, and we don't want to alienate anyone.
I think there's a lot of pros though when it comes to adding promotion and relegation. 'Cause I think it obviously, like you guys said, it makes the top league more competitive. I don't know, at least for me, it's a little bit different. Like if I were to be like demoted to the bottom league for some reason, right? It wouldn't like make me like demotivated to play or lose interest. It just make me want to play better and like get back and like like reaffirm my ground as like a good player. And then the other thing that I really like about the promotion relegation is I think in the off season we do have like a little bit of time where like nothing's happening really in the PDL where we're like trying to figure out like what's going on for next season. I think having like some kind of like gauntlet in between seasons would make like the PDL like a lot more interesting. So in the off season like there's still some content and you get to like see some like good battling, some crazy moments and stuff like this. Like kind of reminds me of like the LCS gauntlet if you guys remember that, where teams would fight for a chance to get the third spot to go to Worlds. So I think it would be like really fun to watch that like in the off season, like teams demote, teams promote, make it really fun.
I've
I
always
mean,
thought that the promotion and relegation should kind of work like the IIHF relegation tournaments, where there's games in between the top finisher and the loser, or however many teams we decide like that, where the top seed of that tournament gets to pick who they face from the lower bottom, and then it just continues on, and then they play the same old format that just finished, right, to see who would be promoted and who would be relegated. But that comes with its own set of issues that I think warrants more talk later, but maybe not on this podcast.
yeah. Well, let's move on to season 12. We've been talking for a while about season 11.
Okay, let's move on to season 12. So we'll start with the overrated picks. So we got I got Incineroar, Mega Kangaskhan, and Mega Manectric. What are you guys' thoughts on my list? Before
Okay,
Mega Kang is interesting.
there's no way the best VGC Pokemon of all time is on your underrated picks. Sell
overrated,
me
you
on it.
mean?
Why is it or overrated?
Overrated?
Why sell me on Incineroar? Why is
Okay,
Incineroar overrated?
obviously, like if you've been playing the champs ladder, Incineroar is like just that Pokemon. Like it's just very consistent and it does its job very well, right? I just think in a draft setting, especially now that it got nerfed, it lost a couple of things. I believe it's knockoff and U-turn it lost, right? Those are the two moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think for how highly pointed it is, I think you can find other Pokemon that can do its job similarly. Like there's like Scrafty, like Scraggy, like that line. There's other Pokemon that I think it can do. Not everything it can do, but it can do some of its stuff. I just don't think it's worth. How many points did we put it at? 20 points? Did we
20 points.
put it at? I just don't think it's
20
worth 20
points.
points. I think I'd rather draft other stuff for 20 points before drafting Incineroar. That's my case on it.
Full disclosure, if I could pick, like, if I made a flow chart of this draft where it's like I would pick this Pokemon first if I was first pick, I would pick this Pokemon first if I was second pick. Incineroar would be my fifth pick in the format. I think it is
Really?
that good.
Okay.
I think there are very few good dark types. I think it is probably the best like dark type you can just put on any team in the whole format. There are very few intimidators. I think it is the best intimidator you can just put on any team in the format, with one other exception that's also on this slide, funnily enough. And it has fake out, and fake out in draft is always good.
Incineroar has other utility too that is hard to replicate in restricted decks like this. I wouldn't necessarily say it's overrated. It could maybe go down 1 point, but like I'm with Mcfeeds on this one. I don't really think it's overrated.
Maybe I'm a little bit biased because it's like not my playstyle, but I will say I didn't really think about the dark typings. I kind of forgot that dark typings are like not looking really, really good. But
I
I
think I
just
would
hmm
I think I would definitely draft it over every single Pokemon in 18, and I would draft it over some of the Pokemon in 19. And that to me says it's fine where it's at.
Yep,
fair
I
enough.
would
Might
agree
be
with
just a
that.
bias thing for me. I just don't think it's worth that many points in this particular season. Maybe, but
All right, on to the other VGC staple you've got on there.
Mega Kangaskhan. I mean,
Yeah.
did we see what happened to it last season?
Dude, I put
Okay.
it in. It's funny you put it in your overrated picks because I put it in my underrated picks.
So, I'm
Okay,
not gonna lie. I was a generational Mega Kangaskhan hater coming into this season. It's been severely nerfed. I think it's been power crept by some of the new Megas. But the more I look at it, the more I think I might actually end up drafting it.
Well,
It's the thing is, it still has value though. Like it's
Yeah.
still what it was initially brought to be, which is a bulky normal type with a ton of HP and defenses, and like a plethora of supportive moves, and like an actual move pool that includes fake out. Like it has tangible options, and it only has one weakness because of its typing. Like it is still very strong for what it is. Yes, I can agree that it has been power crept a little bit, and it losing seismic toss is a pretty big deal. But you just run it more offensive than defensive now. Like it still does a lot of damage.
My
I
well,
don't
my
have
hot take
problems
on
with it.
my hot take on Mega King is it's no longer a first round mon, it's a second round mon, but it's a damn good second round mon.
I can get behind that. I would agree.
I just see some other Pokemon that I'd rather just have than Mega Kangaskhan. Like just like if you're saying like run it more offensively, then why not just get other Pokemon that's like a better shooter than Mega Kangaskhan? Like why not just Mega Lopunny, for example?
My
It also
my
gets fake
person
out.
my
Yep.
personal thoughts on like Kangaskhan slotting into a draft is it just sets you up really well for balance. So if you're like,
Mhm.
okay, I have a first pick support Pokemon, like a first pick offensive support Pokemon. Like let's say I first pick, I don't know,
Whimsicott.
Farigiraf. Whimsicott's not offensive enough for me to consider that for what I'm
Fair.
thinking. But like Whimsicott would also work really well. Let's say I first pick Farigiraf, like a Pokemon that has support moves, does decent damage. I probably want to play some form of balance. I think Mega Kangaskhan's like a bit of a no-brainer pick to pair with that because it fits that same archetype. It's another offensive Pokemon that does decent damage and has support moves, and then I can punt my pick on where I want my actual draft to go to the third and fourth picks. And I understand some people aren't comfortable doing that because it's like, okay, I want to draft Charizard Y. I'm playing Sun right from the get-go, but like I don't know, people leave shit up all the time, so punting your draft a little bit to, leave yourself a little more open isn't a horrible thing.
There's always something egregious left up every single season. One
I
of the
just
seasons, Rillaboom went third round, I think, which is just insane. So
I just don't think
yeah,
it's worth 17 points. It's 17 points, I think. I just don't think it's like
It,
up
it is
there.
17 points.
If it was like 15, 14 points, I could say okay, like it's not a bad option as your like mega choice, but like making it your mega choice, especially since you guys said it's already power crept and it's gotten like a couple of nerfs in here and there. And I understand that you guys are saying that like it's like a kind of versatile Pokemon. It could be like an offensive support. You can make it like more like defensive if you want to. But I just think why not just draft other Pokemon like Mega Lopunny, like I said, or like Mega Guard, for example, at 18 points is pretty good. I think there's still other Megas in the lower tiers that are better, like maybe even like Mega Gyarados. I'd rather have that than Mega Kangaskhan, personally.
I
That's
mean,
like
we can certainly see how the season goes with it. I just think Mega Kang has more value than I think you're giving it in terms of what it does for a balanced draft, like Mcfeeds said. Now, why is Mega Manectric on here, Thunder?
Mega Manectric. What is it? Why would you want Mega Manectric as your Mega? Unless like it's
'Cause
unless like you
It's
in
have
a
the
that as like
best.
a
format with
It's the best
horrible electric
electric type in the
types,
format.
have you seen the electric type draft, my dude? It's
okay. I
horrific.
know the electric types are looking really bad, but like unless Mega Electric is like some like like something like your dual Mega on your team, like I would not want to draft Mega Electric as my Mega Pokemon of
I
choice,
mean,
like my premier
At
Mega
I
12
think
choice.
points, it's actually really good value, though.
yeah,
Like,
I think because it's 12 points, it sets you up really well for double mega. So something like Mega Gyarados plus Mega Manectric sounds really good to me because like Gyarados struggles to get through bulky waters, it struggles with opposing electric types, and Mega Manectric can deal with bulky waters and eat hits from other electric types.
If you're running it as a dual
and it's in a
Mega,
format with not a lot of intimidators. It gives you intimidate. Like, there's good things that can come from the draft. You just have to curate the draft for it. And I think 12 points is a very good value for what it is.
I would
if you
agree.
draft it as a dual Mega on your team, I can let that slide. But if you're drafting it as like your one Mega option, I just don't see how that is better than drafting other Megas as your one Mega Pokemon. Like I'm even looking at stuff like Mega Drampa, for example, as like an option over Mega Manectric, to be honest.
I think
Mega
you're
Charizard
crazy if you don't
X,
draft it without another
Mega
Mega.
Gyarados.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you on that. Mega Manectric is not a solo Mega Pokemon. Like you just can't. You would be shooting yourself in the foot.
Yep.
But I also think there are other megas that fit that same bill. Like I think you're not drafting Hawlucha Mega as a solo mega Pokemon.
Agree. You just
That's
can't lower the
I-
points
like
because
I
of what it
said.
does.
I'll let it slide if it's with a dual mega team, but as a single, I just can't let that slide. I think the Pokemon just doesn't do enough. So I guess like we kind of have an agreement on that point at least.
Sure.
That's fair.
Let's move on to
Now,
McFeeds' Pokemon.
yeah, what's Sneasler doing here, McFeeds? Don't you love Sneasler?
I do love Sneasler. It's actually one of my favorite Pokemon. It's just really frail. It has a 4x weakness, and you're not gonna have a team that has a Mega Floette or a Mega Charizard Y to back it up because it is a 20-point Pokemon.
True.
I think
And
my
I
I
guess
think my biggest problem with Sneasler is in this format specifically is that it has very poor defensive typing to build a team around, which means you're kind of forced into hyper offense with it. So you're gonna want to draft other fast, hard-hitting Pokemon, and then when you look at what those are in the format, they're all either pretty bad or they're all physical attackers. And then you end up with holy shit, Incineroar beats my entire team single-handedly.
isn't Sneasler also a concern in this format due to the lack of terrain availability?
It's already fast enough that without the terrain, it's still pretty good. Like you can run the white herb set, you
Yeah,
can
you
run
have
the
other
normal,
ways
you
to
can
like
run
make it
normal
work.
gem fake out, you can run focus sash. I mean, heck, I even think poison touch Sneasler isn't that bad. Um, but like I think of the top tier Pokemon, like the 21, 20s, 19s, it's the one I would definitely draft last.
I think my problem with
I would
kind
agree
of
with
with
that.
Sneasler in this format is like kind of how McFeet's saying, like if it was a different format, I think it'd be okay. But because the pool of Pokemon is so limited, you don't have that many options to draft something alongside it. Like for special attackers, if you're looking like more into lower tiers, right? Because you're spending a lot of points on just drafting Sneasler straight up, like you don't really have that many options. And assuming that if you draft Sneasler, you're probably not going to get one of the another premier special attacker in the top tiers, unless it has happened before where some things have been left up illegally. But you're most likely looking at like a lower tier budget like special attacker after drafting Sneasler, so it
Now,
is a little tough to make it work.
for all my Sneasler enjoyers who are out there right now, if you want to make this Pokemon work, the Sneasler Greninja Mega Core does sound pretty fucking disgusting to me for a hyper offense core. Um, I just don't really know where you would go from there to keep up that amount of pressure because there just aren't that many fast attackers in this format that aren't megas.
Yeah,
Speaking of fast attackers, uh, is Arcanine Hisui on here because it doesn't have Terra access?
Yeah, that's literally it. It is two 4x weaknesses to two of the best types in the game. It shouldn't be 17 points. Chris is the one who made me keep it at 17.
wasn't it in 16 with Arcanine at some point?
Yep. And then Chris moved it back up, and then I moved it back down, and then Chris told me to move it back up.
Okay, well it can stay in 17 then. Um,
Don't get me wrong, Choice Band, Rockhead, Head
Head
Smash does
smash.
fucking numbers. Like, it's gonna fucking blow somebody out of the water.
Yeah,
But it is like it's supposed to be this like glue balance style Pokemon because of its speed stat and its bulk, but its typing stops it from doing that job. So you kind of have to run it as only an
strictly
offensive
offensive
nuke.
Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're looking at other Pokemon in its tier, you have Basculegion as an offensive nuke. You have Mega Lucario as an offensive nuke. You have even Metagross as an offensive nuke. Like it's all of those Pokemon are either better offensive Pokemon or better balanced Pokemon while maintaining the same offenses as
I think
it.
the only way you can make Arcanine Hisui work, strictly as an offensive Pokemon with like Head Smash, Rockhead, all that shenanigans, is you just draft a Follow Me user. But at that point, if you're just drafting a Follow Me user for Arcanine Hisui, why not just do it with other Pokemon you just like listed, like Mega Lucario and
Exactly.
stuff?
Exactly.
And you can't really run its like balance mode unless like for some reason you have like a really good matchup. This guy doesn't have a water type for some reason, or not even a water type, just like a water move or a fighting move. I just can't see why you would want to drop this Pokemon for let's go for 17 points when there's other Pokemon in that tier
I
that just do
I
better.
really think it could have gone even as low as 14 and been fine.
uh, Yeah, maybe 15.
Yeah.
Um,
Alright, so the
would
most
you like to explain
yeah,
Floette Mega now?
most
Okay.
contested thing here, most likely.
Um. No, 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 no. I'm fighting the fuck out of Easton on Crocodile.
Okay, okay, we'll
Go.
get there. We'll
Um.
get there. We'll get there. I might be on board
Um.
with that.
Floette Mega is a very, 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 very good Pokemon. Do not get me wrong. It clicks a fairy move and something dies. The problem is, this is draft. It has the Dracovish problem. You know your opponent's bringing Dracovish. You know Dracovish is clicking Fish's Rend. You have all week to prepare for how do I beat Fish's Rend? Or in this case, how do I beat Dazzling Gleam slash,
Moonblast, Light
what's the
Rune.
follow-up move? Lighterune.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Pokemon has pretty bad physical defenses. Like, it does not live. Like, let me pull it up really quick. Like, it is 87 physical defense off of 70 base HP. It does not live many physical hits, regardless of if they're neutral or not. The Pokemon is only 102 speed, meaning a lot of things can outpace it. I think you can out hyper offense the Mega Floette, and it will just die. I think you can run Assault Vest and eat hits from the Mega Floette, and then hit back, and it will just die. I do think there is probably like a really good Mega Floette draft in there with like I get Mega Floette, I get Redirection, I get good Tailwind, and my like Mega Floette takes over the game. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is it's 21 points, which means you're gonna have to first pick it. Like it's gonna like it should on paper be one of the first picks in the draft. It is that strong.
Yeah.
If you're picking it in the first like let's say 4 picks of the draft, which is where I think it should go, you're then by the time it gets back to you, Amoonguss is gonna be gone, Sinistra should be gone. All of your like premier redirection people are gone except for
Mousehold.
Clefable,
Yeah.
which is another fairy type. So now your redirector and your mega die to the same moves.
Yeah.
It's the same deal with like it wants priority tailwind. Well, odds are you're not going to get Whimsicott or Talonflame. You're going to have to settle for something like Aerodactyl, which isn't bad, but like that means those teams with priority tailwind are going to outbeat
Pace
your
you.
Floette. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're like it can get through most Pokemon, but it really struggles with bulky steels and bulky fires. So if somebody drafts something like, I don't know, Metagross, Mega Sizzler, like there are Pokemon out there that can check Floette. And I think because it is so one-dimensional and offers literally zero coverage, literally zero utility, it will have matchups where it just straight up cannot do anything.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of the points that you just made. I think, especially since we have this unique format where we're bringing back the items, it's not this the power level of this Pokemon is probably not going to be nearly the same as on the latter format because now you have AV in the format. You have to also consider that when you're drafting or when you're using Mega Flow on the ladder, you just get all these Pokemon that you want, like the premier Pokemon. Like you can get whatever priority Tailwind user you want. You can get whatever follow me user that you want to protect it. But in draft, most likely you're not gonna get everything that's premier. And I think if you're gonna draft Mega Floette, you're gonna have to like strictly like be very very careful on the way you draft around it. Because if you don't draft correctly around it, you might just like not do very well, and it's just not going to like work for you. But I do think Mega Floette is still a creative Pokemon. So if you're able to get like a decent redirection Pokemon that is not a Fairy type, one Calm Mind, and this Pokemon still does like insane amount of
Yeah,
damage. Like I've seen like
like
on the ladder,
the
some Steel types are not even be able to tank what it's like outputting.
the later that that Mega Floette goes in the draft, the better that draft will be. Like if
Yeah,
you're first overall pick and you draft Mega Floette, I think it is hard to make the Pokemon work. It's definitely possible. Like we've seen crazy shit happen, but I think if Mega Floette falls to like I don't know, fucking 10th,
yeah.
then that person's gonna end up with an insane draft because you can get Floette Talonflame, you could get Floette Sinistcha.
I think another way you could play around Mega Floette in this, because have seen it on a ladder as well, is most likely you're gonna probably just have to play a dual mega team, and I think that's a good way to make it work. So
I
if your opponent,
agree, but then you're putting over a quarter of your draft, like probably closer to a third of your draft, into 2 Pokemon where you're only bringing one each week.
no, I agree, but the other mega choice does not have to be too expensive. Like I think I'm like more thinking like if you're like a really early pick, like if you're like top 5 picks and you can't get any of like the pairings that you want for like a priority tailwind or a follow me user, then you probably just end up going the route of like dual mega, and then you just bring what looks good into your opponent, and it
Yeah, I
kind of
mean,
does
I was
suck.
playing Floette Mega Gyarados on the ladder. Like, they're a great pair together. But
Hmm.
that's 34 points.
Yeah, it is quite a lot of points you are spending.
It's like I desperately want to do a double Dragonite team. I think that would be hilarious to have regular Dragonite and Dragonite Mega for the fake out. For like, oh, am I physical? Am I special? Am I E-Speed Choice Band? Am I Hurricane Rain?
Yeah,
But like, that's 33 points. It's just impossible to make work.
yeah. I think with the Mega Floette, you just kind of have to hope that if you draft it, you get something like either a really good Premium Tailwind user or a really good Follow Me user. If you
I,
don't, it's gonna look not very good
yeah,
for you.
I guess ultimately what I'm trying to say is Floette is not this like I win button like other Pokemon have been in the past. It's not like Urshifu levels of power. It's not Fluttermane levels of power where like you can build your whole team around them and the checks are so few and far between that they will just take over the game almost entirely on their own.
Yeah, and I do think because it's draft as well, there's probably gonna be some people gonna find a way to like be able to cheese it in like ways that you probably don't think of.
Yeah, get ready for Scarf Gardevoir with Imprison on all your fairy moves.
Yeah, Imprison the Light Ruin for sure. Any thoughts,
Oh,
Easton?
then the Floette kills itself.
True,
I
true.
haven't played enough champions to say anything more about Mega Floette. I just wanted to hear what Mcfeeds had to say about it because I've seen it like everywhere that I look for resources and people saying it's broken.
And terrorize the whole
So
game.
It is extremely broken in the actual ladder format. When you can pair it with whatever you want, the Pokemon is disgusting.
Yeah. I had this thought a couple of days ago too about like, could you imagine if Comfy was in this format and you just played Comfy with Mega Floette? It sucks that they're both fairy types, but could you imagine just
My
outputting
my
like a
Mega
lot of light
Glamour
ruins,
my Mega Glamora clicks
sludge
Sludge
wave?
Wave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you cry. Yeah, that kind of sucked, but I thought that combo would be like pretty, what's it called? Like pretty interesting. Just keep healing the Mega Floette and just keep clicking light ruins. How long can your Pokemon
Yeah.
last for? But yeah, I think we should move on to Eason's list now. So the one that McFeeds
All
wants
right.
to contest, and I also might have to contest that one too, low key.
You wanna say why it's bad, Easton, or do you want me to go into why I think it's good?
I can absolutely say why to me it's bad. I have
Okay.
drafted Crocodile before. I have used Crocodile before. That season, it had a -6 kill differential because it got 0 kills and died 6 times. It is a good Intimidator, but I have more value in other ones that are in the format, such as Gyarados, which now has 2 chips, despite the 4x weakness to Electric. Um, it has good speed, but not high enough speed to outspeed a lot of things that threaten it. Because despite it being one of the best dark types in the format, it still doesn't have a great typing because it is still weak to water and ice. Um, does it still get knockoff? I haven't actually checked
It
that.
It's shit.
does.
It does
If it
get
if it
knockoff.
does, that's a big plus for it because knockoff got taken away from things. Like it has good attributes. I just think where it is, to me, it's overrated because my past experiences with it have been so poor. And to be honest, I've never seen anyone else in PDL pilot the crocodile to an actually good result.
I think I had
To
Crocodile
me,
one season. I don't remember what season I had it, but I think I had one of my seasons. I don't remember how
it's
it
been
did.
drafted multiple times and it has never done well. I just think there are better Intimidate Pokemon in the format than it, and despite it being one of the best Dark types, I don't even want to draft it.
In literally any other season, I would agree with you. Like any other format, I'm here for you, Easton. Fully agree. This thing's like the biggest fraud.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are 6.5 dark types in this format.
Yeah.
There are, count them, 4 ground types.
I mean, it's good roll compression. I just still think the Mon sucks.
I think if you are doing a draft where you're like, oh yeah, I've got this great flying type or levitate user and I want to click Earthquake next to it, like, for example, Mega Delphox, you're not going to get Garchomp, you're not going to get Excadrill, thus, you're going to have to put up with Crocodile.
And it won't kill anything because it sucks.
And because of that, because there's like such a demand for ground types, I think it makes Crocodile very, very good.
Yeah.
Not because the Mon itself is good, just because the format is like filled
So
that bad
limited.
with holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm right there with Mcfeeds. I think my number one concern was like, I guess like maybe it's a little bit like I'm contradicting my own place. I have Incineroar there, but I'm like thinking like, oh well, the dark types are looking really bad. The ground types are looking really bad. So I'm like, well, Crocodile does both. So at 14 points, I think it's probably like not gonna be as bad as like previous seasons. Like you're gonna get some value out of it, because like the other options are not looking very good for dark or ground types.
I mean, you could absolutely get value out of it. I just think it's overrated. Despite the fact that it can be really good roll compression. Onto my other two, which shouldn't be as controversial. Typhlosion is a piece of shit. It's a literal Scarf Eruption bot on a with either Scarf Eruption or Specs and Tailwind, and it has horrible coverage outside of just
Whoa.
eruption.
They gave it Scorching Sands in Gen 9. It is like real coverage now.
You're never clicking that on a Scarf or Spec set. And if you
Alright.
run it without either and run it like Life Orb, it's not killing anything because it sucks.
I will not stand for my favorite starter slander, no matter how correct you are.
I
Yeah.
will give Typhlosion Hisui some props for having a second stab. That one is better. Regular Typhlosion sucks.
I think Typhlosion
Um,
personally just kind of relies too much on having Sun Up to do a lot of damage with Eruption. That's like kind of my take on it. I think you strictly draft this Pokemon if you have a Drought user.
yep.
I
And
mean,
guess what? Its one of its best coverage moves is Focus Miss.
its best coverage
Past.
move is Scorching Sands now, but previously,
Sure.
yes.
But what's its other coverage? Shadow Ball, which is not stab. Extrasensory, which doesn't hit very much super effectively.
Most coverage isn't stab. Why it's coverage?
Right. But I guess I should rephrase that to like it's not hitting a lot of things that Typhlosion needs to deal with that Eruption doesn't already damage.
Yeah, Scorching Sands is literally just there to hit other fire types.
Yep.
That's it.
And
Like
its
that's
best
all
way
you
to
care
hit
about.
grass or its best way to hit water is Solar Beam, which requires
Have a teammate. That's the best way to deal with water types.
Yep. So there you go. I don't like Typhlosion, and I
Yeah.
think it's overrated. And then
my only caveat on Typhlosion is it is a fire type that is not weak to Ghost or Dark, which is weirdly a lot of them.
that's
Really.
really funny.
Yeah, like there are a ton of fire types in this format that are weak to Ghost or Dark.
So hey, guess what, McFeeds? More points for Incineroar.
Yep.
I mean, also like I don't know, it's 11 points too, so I feel like it's a little bit expensive for like for not much. It can like it doesn't really give you any versatility, which kind of sucks. Like it just kind of does like
that's fair.
it's good
It,
for like it's one trick pony where eruptions in the sun.
Personally, I'm drafting my goat Delphox over regular Typhlosion.
I would also draft the Delphox over
I think I'd
Typhlosion.
spend one more point on drafting like Tauros Paldea Blaze, for example.
Sure.
I
Salazzle.
would draft my boy Meganium from 4 points again instead of
All right.
Oh,
Typhlosion.
Meganium Fire type.
Your last one, Easton, I think all three of us can agree it's a fraud, and we don't need to even talk about it.
You mean Alcremie?
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
that's
overrated though.
Yes, it's overrated because this thing doesn't fucking get Trick Room. It gets Imprison and it doesn't get Trick Room. This thing sucks. We
Like,
could move on.
I'll agree with you for the majority, like it's usually a fraud Pokemon, but I think there's some small niche drafts where you can make it work. It kind of does
It-
suck though, it being like what's it called, like your fairy slot, unless you're double ferrying, which I don't think is a bad thing to do in the first place, anyways. But I think it brings a lot of like utility and like what's it called, like other things that can
It
help
doesn't
with the
have
team.
utility though.
It's
Like,
literally just decorate. That's
it's
it. This
it's
Pokemon
best.
is a decorate bot.
Yeah, but
its
it gets
best two
screens and
sets
decorate.
are singles sets because it likes to run setup and toxic and recover, which doesn't really work in VGC unless your name is Gamag and he tries to make stall work again. Does it have any value as an attacker? Sure, it has Calm Mind, but its coverage options are complete dog shit, and I think they're even worse than Florge's. So,
They're actually the exact same as Florges. They get
oh,
Psychic and Energy Ball.
so
Yeah.
there you go, just awful. So if you're getting it simply as a bulky fairy for a very specific matchup, it can put in some work. This thing is just worse Florges, and I think it sucks balls.
I'll
I
just
think
say
the
like
only reason you ever draft this Pokemon is Decorate.
okay. I was gonna say maybe it's a stretch, but I think its abilities are pretty like good too. Like the Sweet Veil. Which one is it? The one where it blocks like Attract, Disable Encore, Taunt shenanigans.
I thought it blocked
Aroma Veil.
sleep
Yeah.
only.
Oh no, I'm
Sweet
looking at
Sweet
here.
Veil Sweet Veil blocks Sleep. Its other ability, its hidden ability Aroma Veil blocks Attract, Disable, Encore, Heal Block, Taunt, and Torment.
Yeah, so I was gonna say like
It
that. You
gives you
have
like a permanent mental herb.
you get like some use from that, but I guess like there's no point of getting taunted because like you don't even have like Trick Room. I guess you're only running
Well,
screens. It's a
it protects
stretch.
both. It protects both slots on your team.
Yeah, fair enough. It might be a
But you would
stretch,
want the Alcremie to be
but
setting the
it's
trick
it's
room,
it's
not
probably
protecting the trick roomer.
it's probably shit. But like I think there's some niches where you can use it at. But like we can move on from it. It's fine. All
Sure.
right, let's move on to our underrated picks. Maybe we reverse and we start with Eason this time?
Sure. We
Oh,
already talked Mega Kangaskhan, so I'm not even gonna bring that one up. Uh, Blastoise is so underpointed that I had to bring it up. I don't care if it's supposed to be a sleeper pick. Like it's the legit sleeper pick here. It's 10 points. It's roll compression for everything. Fake out, follow me, speed
No
it
follow
does.
control,
me, no
You
bulky
follow
said
me.
fodder.
it doesn't get follow me. We're not playing that decks.
Oh, well, either way, it's still roll compression for a lot of things, and I think it's still underrated. Um, any rebuttals on that one, Mcfeeds? Even without the
Um,
follow me?
Without the follow me, I think it's markedly worse than most of the water types in the format. I think I could bump it up 1 point and be fine with that. I think bumping it up more than that is you're starting to compete with things like Slowking, Greninja, Tauros Aqua, where I don't think it's quite as good.
I think
I
you
think
just probably in
I
your
think it's really just a fake out bot.
exactly. I think in your draft you kind of look at it like, okay, well, what do I want my water type to do? Like, do you need like a water type that gets fake out for your team? Okay, you probably draft Blastoise. If not, then you probably look at the other water types available.
Like don't get me wrong, it's fake out Icy Wind Yawn. Like it has good and Haze. It has good options for being a supportive water type, but I don't think it's like the premier supportive water type. I'd rather have like Milotic, I'd rather have Rotom Wash, I'd rather have Gyarados as my supportive water type, you know?
That's fair. Losing follow me does hurt my opinion a
Oh no,
lot, but I still think it's.
if this had follow me, it'd be like
But probably
the
point is
best
really
water
high
type in the
up.
format, yeah.
And then, Mr. Mime, I think, was
Alright.
proven last split.
Hey, Easton, before I burst or before you go on your rant again, it also got follow me in the same game that Blastoise got it from, so it doesn't have follow me.
I didn't actually consider follow me for Mr. Mime.
Okay.
Mr. Mime has a lot more value than people are giving it. And considering I was a Mime Junior proponent, I have an idea on what Mr. Mime does. It can actually be run as an offensive Pokemon with its stats, and it actually has good coverage. It has really weird support moves because it's from Gen 1.
Yep.
So it provides the team with a lot of value. It can run Eviolite, which
Wait, it
helps.
can?
Or no, sorry, it can't. But
Okay,
it's
I
really
was like, wait, hold on a sec.
sorry. It gets filter, right? That's what I
Yes.
was thinking of. So that helps it with its frailty a little bit. Even if a lot of the time you might run it Focus Sash, you can figure out some fun sets to work with filter. And I think its abilities are not bad too, even if they're not
Technician.
always going to be useful.
I think it has a couple of moves it can use Technician with, I believe. I can't see its moves,
Uh,
but I
I mean,
think it does.
Technician Fake Out.
True. I like Mr. Mime too. I think when he said like what's called this thing has pretty good coverage, I think isn't it like one of the Pokemon that has like insane coverage because it's Generation 1 Pokemon, like it just gets so many like different coverage moves, like it's like insane.
Yeah, but I think it's off of like 95 offenses. It's not anything crazy, but
Yes,
it
but
does
It's a
yeah,
have
100
insane.
special.
It does
Yeah.
have insane utility. Like it is a really good utility Pokemon. It just as a weird typing, yes, filter helps cover it. It's got weird speed stat. Yes, that can be a good thing. But I think the bigger problem is its physical bulk is really bad.
Yeah.
And so if you're using it as a like pure support Pokemon, it's not necessarily able to take the hits you need it to.
You gotta be
Sure.
careful, definitely.
For a Pokemon this low rated in the format, like I just think it has a lot of value and upside,
Definitely a great value at 9 points.
and to me that qualifies it for an underrated pick.
Yeah, I'd agree. For 9 points, it's like not too bad. I think it's just like a middle ground like Pokemon. It's gonna be useful some weeks. It might be not use, but it might not be useful in other weeks.
Okay,
Alright,
yeah,
McFeeds.
I went the exact opposite of Easton. I looked at the high-pointed Pokemon and said which ones I thought people were saying, wow, this thing sucks. Why would anybody draft it?
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with Ape. Ape is a demon. Ape will always be a demon. A lot of people are upset that their Annihilate doesn't have Terra, so they think it is a bad Pokemon. But it turns out that Ghost Fighting is one of the better typings in existence.
The dual
Like,
typings, yeah.
yes, your defensive profile isn't like insane, but Ghost Fighting offensively is actually ridiculous. Like, Ghost hits everything except Dark and
Normal.
Normal, and what does Fighting hit super effectively?
There you
Dark
go.
and Normal. So if you can build a team around Ape, offensively, it will beat every single Pokemon in the game. The
I
other
think
thing about Ape, the other thing about Ape is, yes, your opponent might have a great Ape check. Well, you can just turn it into a suicide bomb and click Final Gambit,
there you
and then your
go.
opponent no longer has an Ape check.
There you go. That's what I was gonna key on. I think I like the thing. What I like about Nightlife is like, I think it has three different sets of like kind of modes you can run. Like you have obviously like your Rage Fist mode, you have like the Final Gambit mode, like you just said, and you also have the Bulk Up mode, right? I think that's
I,
like
I do think I do think the bulk up mode is way worse without Terra. It's still usable, but it's way worse without Terra
it's
because
just
you
more
can't have
niche.
Terra. Yeah, you can't have Terra Fire to shrug off burns, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Um, but I've heard a lot of discourse that this is the worst Pokemon in the 21 point tier. I've heard people say it's probably the worst Pokemon in the 21 and the 20 point tier.
Okay, that's a
I
stretch.
I
That's cap.
I hard disagree with that. I'm not saying it's the best Pokemon in the 21 point tier, but I think it's way better than I've heard some people give it credit for.
Yeah, I don't.
I
I
don't
personally
accept
don't
this
think it's
slander.
even. I only think it's underrated, to be honest. I don't think it should be considered underrated. But I'm assuming like you're going under like the notion that like it's underrated in the sense that no one's talking about it, or everyone in the
Correct.
league is
I don't
saying
I don't
that.
think I've heard I don't think I've heard anybody say like, "Damn, I really want to first pick Annihilate."
Fair enough.
And it should be on the conversation for sure.
Yeah.
Now, what's up
Um,
with Aegislash?
Easton, I know you're the biggest Aegislash Blazers, so you got me on this thing. I think it's just better than Goldengo, and they're in the same tier.
I agree.
Yeah, I hate Aegislash with a passion.
I mean, the Pokemon functionally has 140, 140 offenses while simultaneously having 140, 140 defenses with the like second best typing in the whole game.
Yeah.
And a really good unique protect that
Yeah.
still has value. It's a really good Mon that technically should still be considered underrated because I actually agree with you that I think it is better than Goldengo.
It's another one where I don't think the actual points on it make it underrated, but it's another one where I've heard people be like, I don't know how to use this Aegislash Pokemon. I feel like it's bad. I think it's gimmicky. I don't understand how it works, etc., etc. It is just simultaneously the bulkiest Pokemon on your team and the hardest hitting Pokemon on your team, as long as you play it right with the King Shield
Yeah.
and the stance form changes. And then some people go, oh, that makes you super predictable because you attack, and then your opponent knows next turn you're going to King Shield, so we can just target the other Pokemon. Well, now your Aegislash has turned every single matchup into a Sucker Punch mind game. Because if your opponent double targets your other Pokemon thinking your Aegislash is going to protect, your Aegislash gets a free turn to do whatever the fuck it wants.
And I don't think people underestimate as much like what the Sucker Punch mind game does. It's horrible to play against. This mon sucks. I hate it.
Yeah, it makes the game's like a kind of 50-50 coin flip. I'm like, oh, should I target it? Oh, but if I target it, like I don't know, maybe my physical attack is gonna go down. Should I target the other
Yeah.
person? But then like, what if he just attacks anyways, and I'm now just gonna lose like an important Pokemon to my team? It's just like it makes you think so much more than you should being like have to in the first
And
place.
notably, it has a good enough move pool to support both physical and special sets, so it adds even more stuff that you have to prep for against this Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like even more mind games against this Pokemon. I will say its utility moves pretty bad. Its coverage moves pretty bad. They did give it Poltergeist for some reason, so Jesus fucking Christ, have fun with that one.
Yeah,
Easy,
that's
just run no items.
Yeah.
true.
Hey, Ethan, that was my ladder experience. I was going against 12-year-olds the first day, and my Poltergeist kept failing, and I was like, why? None of them had items on.
Yeah, that was funny. I remember that.
Get fucked.
I was crashing out in call because it was 3 matches in a row where my Aegislash did absolutely nothing because my
Or you're
opponent had
playing
no
against
items on
bots.
any of their Pokemon. Yeah.
I think the thing with the Aegis / Goldingo conversation you had, like I'm just thinking about it now. At first, like I was kind of in the agreements that like I think Aegis is just better than Goldingo. But now that I think about it with the limited pool, how many white guarded users are there actually in the format? Like, do we have like less white guard users? Because if that's the case, then that maybe makes a point for Goldingo to be like not as worse than Aegis in that sense,
Believe
maybe.
it or not, there are actually quite a few, but they might be in the lower tiers, and you'll have
Yeah.
to do some looking. But I have come across a couple of really interesting ones. So
Steel is also notably a really bad attacking type. So yes, Make It Rain is a busted move, but like it only half healths a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, you kind of need a nasty plot or like a spec set. Even then,
Yeah.
it's a little bit tough. Anyways, Mega
So,
Medicham.
and then my last one, Mega Medi, we had to build it next season or this thing was 20 points and
Yeah,
it's 13. And to me, that just says it's underpointed.
it
Like
is probably a little underpointed.
I get that new megas like have power creep this thing. I get that it's like frailer than a piece of paper, but it still has huge power, base 100 attack, close combats.
And it still has its regular utility from Fake Out. And not that it would normally do this, but doesn't it also get Trick Room?
It does, and it gets the really funny skill swap where you can not mega turn 1, skill swap your huge power onto something, and then mega to keep your huge power.
That's really funny.
Is it
that's good.
good? No, but it's really funny.
It'd be tough to
I
make
would
that
say
work.
it probably is being underrated. I haven't heard
So
anyone talking about it either.
if you bait your opponent into double protecting on your fake out turn and you read it, just get your free huge power on some random ass Pokemon.
I struggle to see why do draft Mega Medicham though over some other Pokemon. I get like it's not bad, and I know no one's talking about it, but I would say like it's not the best option, but it's not the worst option. Like that's how I
And the
choose about Mega
answer is
Medicham.
Thunder. Because you can name it Psych Tyson.
Mm,
Oh,
okay. How many
yeah.
points is this thing?
13.
13. Okay. So it's kind of in the same
Also,
tier as Mega Gyarados.
if you're a real gamer, you can click Focus Punch with it, and then nothing lives that except Ghost types.
True. That would be a
But
lot of damage.
That would be a Giga Chad move, but I don't know
but
how
good
many people
good
would be
luck
willing to do it.
good luck landing it.
I'm
Yep.
assuming you probably would want to draft a redirection Pokemon with this thing, as it's like very frail as an offensive attacker. Like you want to protect it in
You can
some
also
sense.
run like a very HO team with it if you have
Hmm.
Tailwind.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that
I think
working.
it's another one of those Pokemon that's a good dual mega. I've been trying to build it, like full disclosure, but I've just been struggling to find another mega to pair with it. It has a weird both defensive and offensive profile, so it's hard to find something you want to put alongside it.
I can see the problem.
Yeah, I
All
can
right,
agree with that.
let's move to you, Thunder.
Yeah. So
Go
first
ahead.
thing on the
Mega
list,
Glamora.
we got Mega Glumora. I don't think I've heard that many people talking about how like, hey, I want to build around Mega Glumora. Even I like when I took a look at it the first time because I like look at it too much during like the ladders experience. But like when I was looking at like Mega Pokemon and like what Pokemon to build around, I was like, wow, This Pokemon's not bad. Its speed is a little bit slow for being like what's it called? To like go first or attack very well. But 150 special attack with adaptability is pretty insane. And if you couple that with like a steel type like Corviknight, at the same time getting Tailwind and now just clicking Sludge Wave, I think this
So
Pokemon can do a lot of damage.
I agree with you. In right conditions, this Pokemon's insane. But the problem is, it basically needs to be paired with Corviknight. If you don't get Corviknight, it feels really bad. And
Hey
so then your
man,
pick 1 is Glamora, and your pick 2 is Corviknight. And those might have been able to be better picks, depending
hey
on where you're at in
man.
the draft.
Fair enough.
McFeeds, don't forget, we've got budget Corviknight
Oh
also
yeah, I
available.
could do Skarmory. That is very true.
I think you can
Um,
also, instead of going at Tailwind mode with this Pokemon, you could also just pair it with a Follow Me user, like a really good Follow Me user on a second pick, and just like you don't have to go the Sludge Wave option. You can just go like Sludge
yeah,
Bomb's still gonna do a
so
lot of damage.
Follow Me's not saving you from Earthquake.
Fair enough.
Yeah, follow me plus wide guard. Try and get that on one Pokemon.
Does that exist? I don't think that exists
I
on
think that'd
any
be
Poke.
really insane if that existed. Like it'd be
I'm
really
looking.
toxic.
I'm looking it up now.
But I know this.
Ah, the create a Pokemon Fidget gets Follow Me and Wide Guard.
So
Wow.
just get a Pokemon that knows Metronome and take the risk.
True.
I know it does have its downsides, being 4 times weak to ground and it's not very fast, but I think if you can make like draft around it really well and get some certain pieces for it to make it work, I think this thing will not let you down in the terms of
Yeah,
like damage it will do.
I think if you're like specifically 8th pick in the draft, and like all the good stuff in front of 18 is gone, you take Mega Glamora, and then it comes back to you, and all the stuff in 18, 17, and a lot of 16 is gone, and then you pick Corviknight, you feel pretty good about it. If you're at any other spot in the draft, I feel like both the Glamora pick or the Corviknight pick could have been better.
I think it would kind of suck if Cornelia got taken and you have to go Skarmory second pick just to guarantee you get like budget Corviknight, and definitely you could have probably like made your pick order a little bit better and gotten some other better Pokemon, but it's hard to make this thing work. But if you can make it
Um,
work, I think it can go crazy.
I do have one more caveat about Mega Glamora,
Okay,
and it's gonna be my usual, but the regular version with Life Orb hits harder. Um,
that's it
the regular version with Power Herb hits harder.
with Life Orb.
No, if you run Power Herb Meteor Beam, you do more damage than regular Gamora after the Meteor Beam boost.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough. But then
It
imagine if you
actually does not with Life Orb. You need to run Specs or Power Herb Meteor Beam.
imagine if you were able to get Meteor, what's it called, Meteor Beam off
Beam
on Mega
off on
Gomora
regular.
on
Yeah,
2 turns without Power Herb, then you're going crazy.
absolutely.
But yeah, there's definitely some weaknesses with this thing. There's definitely some strong points. So it's just like one of those Pokemon where like you need to draft really really carefully around it. If you don't draft carefully around it, you're probably not gonna have a good time.
Yep, I agree.
All right, next Pokemon. I had to have put one of my favorites on here. I think
That's a
Weavile
surprise.
at 16 points as probably one of the best dark types, probably besides like King Gambit and Incineroar, is like a really good option to pick up, especially at getting ice typing. I think ice typing is uniquely going to be pretty good this format, as like there's a couple of Pokemon with quad weaknesses and no Terra to save it, so the only thing it can be saved by is Yachi or Follow Me. I think it also gives you like some good offensive utility with like Fake Out. I think you guys said that it does not get Snatch anymore because it's not
No,
Natex, which kind of
Snatch
sucks.
does not exist in this gen.
But you have stuff like Icy Wind as well, and then this thing is also really fast. It can hit really hard with Choice Band sets. You can run Scarf sets on this thing. I think it's a pretty versatile Pokemon, especially with the Dark typings being not very good. If you want like an offensive Dark type, I think Weavile's your Pokemon to go with.
Yeah, I have no notes. I think it's a good Pokemon. I think it shouldn't have been dropped from 17, but I was overruled.
Bye,
And
Chris.
I tend to agree with McFeeds on that.
I don't even remember Weavile being 17, to be honest. I remember just seeing it at 16 at first, and I'm like, oh wow, this is
Who
pretty
asked
nice
for
at
it to be
16
dropped?
points.
Was it Chris?
It was after the draw show. There were a bunch of people on call. Someone clowned. I think it was Gamig said Weavile shouldn't be in 17, and then I was like, I disagree, and basically everybody in call said, nah, you're wrong. So I said, all right, I'll drop it.
Better
Okay.
for me. Cheaper
Sure.
cheaper
Just
pick.
save a point for Thunder.
Cheaper pick for
Yep.
me. Thank you very much. And the last Pokemon, Mega Chestnut. Now this Pokemon, at first I was like saying, there's no way you want to draft Mega Chestnut like this Pokemon. Like surely it's not that good. And then when I actually went to go look on it on the team, like on Showdown Team Builder, I was like, wow, this Pokemon stats are kind of insane. Like special defense 115, you have a monstrous defense at 172. Your HP stat not too bad, 88, and then like the attack being 137 too. I'm like, wow, this Pokemon
Okay.
in the
I'm
right
gonna
hands could be in a really good like dual like mode, like Mega with like one being Trick Room and one being like offensive as your other Mega.
I'm gonna raise you one very, very important question. Why would I ever draft this when Mega Aggron exists?
Different typing.
Yeah, I could have a 4x weakness, have the worst defensive typing in the game in grass, or I can have steel with filter.
Bulletproof is pretty
Okay,
worthless.
fair enough, but and if you're thinking about it in like a draft like a setting where like maybe you don't have enough points to just go for Mega Aggron at 13 points, I'm pretty sure Mega Chestnut is like I didn't see I don't remember how many points it is, but
That's
I'm
pretty
pretty sure
well. I'm
it's
looking it up
not.
right now. It's 9.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure it has value. I wouldn't say it's underrated with its pointage because of the 4x weakness
it does suck. It
and the
has
bad ability.
a 4x
It is
weakness.
unironically really good on rain teams. Like
Yeah,
it's a great bulky pivot on rain teams, but then your Mega's Mega Chestnut on a rain team.
I
And
just
what if
think
some of the opponent has Hurricane users?
I just
Yeah.
I just think that this Pokemon potentially, if there's no other Pokemon that you're looking for that's like a slow Trick Room user as like a Mega, like as like a different like Mega to play in, like let's say you're playing a fast offensive Mega option, you have a slow mode as well, and you
Yeah,
don't
but
see any other options.
you could take Drampa, you could take Crabominable, you could even take Mega Ampharos. Like
You think Mega
I,
Ampharos
I
is better than Mega Chestnut?
as a Trick Room sweeper, yes. In a balance mode, no.
I don't know. I just thought this Pokemon is like kind of slept on. I don't think I heard anybody talk about this Pokemon, so I think it shouldn't be slept on too much. I think its stats are pretty insane. It does come with its cons, but I think it's something to think about. And
I
the
do think it is one of the sickest new Mega designs though. Like
Good
he's got
design,
fucking aura.
but give it a better ability next time, Game Freak.
yeah, I'm not sure why they give bulletproof again. Like,
Because it lets
Did
it
they
become
just
the best Mega Gengar answer in the game. Mega
oh,
Gengar can't touch it.
does Mega King not get a fire move? I don't remember. I don't think it gets a
it
fire
gets
move.
Fire
Fire
Punch?
punch. Oh my god. But yeah, I think it's something not. I think something to just to think. What's it called to just think about, and like maybe it could be an option on like a very niche team. Other than that, I think that's the underrated picks done. Let's move on to the group draw. Should we talk about the Ruby group and how it is completely hell and how Mcfeeds wants to leave the group?
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so Ruby Group is the group of death,
I
and there are
disagree.
there are clear 4 front runners with 1 or 2 dark horses and a couple of unknowns. It's pretty straightforward, unlike the Diamond Group,
Yep.
which could actually be worse.
Yeah, Easton. All right, so I think my definition of a group of death is you are fighting for your life every single week, and you're not guaranteed to get out. Right?
Hmm.
I don't think the Ruby group is that. It is the group of death, unless if you're not one of those 4 people. But I think because it is so cut and dry, it doesn't end up as the group of death. I think the Diamond group is we put 7 crabs in a bucket with Feeny, gave them all knives, and said, "All right, crawl out of here."
Yeah, the Diamond group is definitely gonna be probably one of the most entertaining groups we've had in a while, I think. Because I think quite literally, even Feeney, it hasn't been playing too bad. I think anybody in this group can get out, like literally anybody. Like it's
This
gonna be
group
a
is a
nightmare to
literal
predict.
toss-up.
Yeah, I think this is. I think if you took the groups and like did some calculation to like get the average player skill, I think Diamond Group is probably the best.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably do that with your Elo tracker.
I haven't updated in 3 seasons.
Oh, well, get Water to work on it.
Well, the answer is I just program it into the website so it does it automatically. So you don't have to copy and paste a bunch of match data every time.
True. I need that
Fair.
too then.
So in that case, the way I looked at it was Diamond Group was the group of death.
Yeah.
Ruby Group was the
Mini
either the
group of
group of
death.
life or the group of
Or the
death,
group of
depending on
death.
which side you're on.
Yes, I think Sapphire is the real group of life. I think somebody needs to check Kentucky Crobat's PayPal. I swear that guy ends up in the easiest group every single time. Like he has to have like he has to be the person who like wrote the RNG algorithm for Wheel Picker at this point.
He was in my group 2 seasons ago,
We
which was also the group of death. But
we
he did get lucky the previous season and this season.
we did use a different wheel picker too, the one that Chris sent us.
That's true.
Oh, so it's Chris's fault. Got it. I'll
It
go
is
troll
Chris's
him
fault.
later.
Um, but yeah,
Sapphire Group is so weird because we have basically two mainstays that I would expect to not miss playoffs, which is Thunder and Fortress.
No,
And then
I
who
stand
knows?
by my comment I made on Draft Draw that Sapphire Group is 8 frauds.
Ooh. Nah, you can't throw that much shade at Thunder. I have no clue what the rest of the group does though, and who knows what version of Corrido is going to show up this season because
So
last season he had problems.
I have insider info. It's an even numbered season, which means Corrido performs.
that's what I was told
Ah,
as well.
so there's one playoff spot left then.
Yeah, no, seriously. If you go back through all the seasons Corrido's played in, he has made playoffs in every even season and done absolutely horribly in every odd season.
That's a
That's very odd.
crazy stat.
It's really funny.
But yeah,
And then
Sapphire group, I don't know what to even expect in that group because like
I
everyone's
think that's definitely the
obviously.
group of life.
I think everyone obviously like what's called like this season when like we drew these groups, everyone's saying, well, Thunder's definitely just gonna get out of this group. Like Fireman, the first thing he said was like, if you don't get out of this group, like you need to be kicked from the league. But technically, that's the kind of the exact same thing people told me last season, but it didn't go very well
Yeah,
for me because I didn't draft very
and
well.
that's why the group is 8 frauds instead of 7 frauds in Thunder.
Yeah, I guess you have the right this time around to call me a fraud since I didn't make it last season, but I'm gonna try to my best to top this group
Hey,
and
this time you won't shoot yourself in the foot by first picking a random ass Pokemon.
True, true. Or forgetting my abilities this season, like last season, because I do think last season, those two battles, if I had the right abilities, Gale Wings and Prankster, I think those battles I win and I actually make playoffs. I don't know how far I would have
So,
made. So,
um, I was gonna move on to Pearl. Sorry, you were
okay, yeah,
talking like
no,
right when I
that was
started to go
it.
into that.
That was it. Go on.
Okay. All right. Going into Pearl, I think Pearl's kind of like this weird like next gen PDL group, I guess. Like Jerry did pretty well last season. Chris has done pretty well the last couple seasons. Boop Beep Bop has done like decently enough that like I consider him like a dark horse going into playoffs. I think Eck has had some sauce here and there, and that maybe a more standard format could be good for him. Both Major and Cobb had pretty good seasons last season. I think it's like I don't think I would put it nearly on the same tier as like Diamond, or definitely not in the same tier as like the top half of Ruby. But like I think it's a pretty solid, interesting group that you'll kind of get a shakeout of like, hey, here's a bunch of new people. How well are they going to do against each other?
Yeah, and but what about my boy Chiang? You got Chiang in there too.
No, he's the
He's the only old stay in there,
yeah.
and we know what to expect out of Chiong every season.
Yeah, hopefully for him this season that his draft goes a little bit better with the pointing tier.
He just needs to stop trolling.
Yeah.
It's definitely an
You want to do
interesting group.
a quick playoff picture for each group?
Sure.
I I don't think we need to talk about Ruby. We're all in
No.
agreement.
Yeah,
Sure.
we should know which four are going through.
It,
Any
it's
variation
Coco.
of
My
go ahead.
exact line is
In order?
Coco 1, Gamig 2, Scrafty 3, Mcfeeds 4.
In order?
Yep. I don't think you need to give it to me in order, but that's my order.
Okay.
I would take it in any order. I agree with the 4.
I also agree with the same four. I don't know about the order, but the four for sure.
I
Uh,
dropped too many games to random people to be higher than fourth.
Hey, you and me both, buddy.
Yeah.
yeah, me too. I always drop a lot of random matches recently, especially these last 4 seasons.
Yeah, all I pray is that Wheel Picker does not get me strict for a third time in the row, first round of playoffs.
I don't know what it is, but I've been noticing too for myself. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna have to say this, but my week 6 and 7 matches have been going very, very badly for me the last like 3 seasons. Like I think where it started off is when I had to play Vaunted in seasons. What season was it? I don't remember what season it was. I think it was the season where Rory's second season was.
If you're talking about Vaunted, it's been like over a year, maybe even 2.
He's the kryptonite
It
for
was the
both of us,
second. It was
apparently.
the second season where Rory joined, and I had that week 7 matchup with him where I beat him, but I couldn't make it to playoffs because I lost to Vaunted in week 6. And then
Oh yeah, the tiebreak with I remember
yeah,
that. I
there
think it
was
was Rory's
that.
first season.
I thought his Garchomp team was not his first. Oh, no. Oh, I was one with Garchomp. I think he had the Zygarde Arcanine and Sui draft. I think something like
I
this.
think that was his. I think that was his first season. I could be wrong though.
No, his first season was the season where like when he versed you with the Amoonguss, blah blah
Oh
blah. So it
right.
was the second season. But yeah, I had
Yeah.
that problem. Then I had another problem the next season when I had Coco, Water, and someone else in week 7. And like I've been having like a lot of tough difficulties in the last couple of weeks. And I don't know if you guys saw the schedule, but my last couple of weeks is Corrido into Fortress. So
So just get into them
Oh
at 5-0.
my first 2 weeks are Scrafty and Tagamig, I think.
damn.
So I'm living it up. It might be
Well, my
Gamig into Scrafty, but it's that one of those two.
But yeah, moving on to the Sapphire predictions. Is this gonna be contested or do we got our picks here? Do we have a
I,
consensus?
I
All right.
mean, I think it's gonna be Thunder, Corrido, Fortress in any order, plus any one of the 5. I do not know who it is that can pull it out because I haven't seen 3 of them play.
My insider information based on very limited discussion when they sent me their application is that I think Killer Fox has the potential to be one of the better people in this group.
The
Funny
other
because I actually
insider,
noted him on my notes as the potential 4th because I didn't know who it was.
my other
They're a
insider
new person.
information.
They apparently have been grinding a lot of champions, so it's a familiar format to them. They play VGC beforehand.
The other thing
Good.
I heard,
They're new to draft, but they do play a lot of VGC.
gotcha. The other thing I heard too was is apparently IRS Bounty Hunter was Chelsea's like coach kind of last season, I think. Or
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
it was somebody's coach. I don't remember who, but like he was coaching somebody. I'm pretty sure. I think I heard Chelsea, but I'm not sure. So I think
So what you're
he
saying is this is another Gamagate situation, and IRS Bounty Hunter is going to be the next 3P PDL winner.
I
possibly.
guess we'll see.
But if I had to guess, like obviously, like I hope I don't jinx it, but like I'd be up in top 4 at some point, right? We got obviously Corrido and Fortress, I'd say, and I think the last one is kind of hard because I don't really know enough about Penguin, and then I obviously heard just now the information about Killer Fox and Bounty Hunter, like they've had some familiarity, and I don't even know who. Wait, is that Ek? Oh no, that's Ek. Okay, I know
No,
who.
X and
I
the other.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, who's that? Bunny Lord. Okay, I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
who
That's
that is.
Bunny Lord. I
I
don't.
don't know who that is either. So it's kind of tough to guess who the fourth person is. So like by consistency and by the person I know, like I kind of want to say there's a chance maybe Kentucky makes it, but I don't know how strong the other people are. So it's really hard. But I don't know. I'm gonna give it to IRS Bounty Hunter because if he was the one coaching last season, I think then there's some good signs that he can make it to top
I thought
4.
we determined Google AI was coaching last season.
That could have been assistant coach.
But yeah, like I said, 8 frauds. Any of them can make it. Doesn't matter. Moving on to Diamond.
This one's gonna be
Diamond is
giga
stupid.
tough. This is giga tough.
Um,
If I had to say
I
before
think
any of
I
you
think
guys
my
make your
only I want to say I think my only one that I'm willing to say I think this person will get out is Easton. Everybody else, I'll just flip a coin on.
I want to say before you guys make your predictions, I think this group is going to heavily depend on what kind of drafts these guys have for a prediction on who's gonna make playoffs.
Yeah,
Because
that's why I'm saying Easton gets out. Easton doesn't draft bad.
yeah, I
I-
I can agree with that. I definitely have Easton top 4 for sure.
the the only other one I was willing to put on that hill was Fire Mana because I think he played really good the last 2 seasons and has drafted exceptionally well as well.
I can
Uh,
see that.
After that, I was kind of bullish on anyone else. I kind of had like Strict and Kiora as the next up after that because as much as I like Water and we have very similar playstyles, he keeps choking. Um, and I, after the Mega Kangaskhan slander, I don't know if I can believe in Sage.
One of these seasons, Sage is gonna have like an incredible bounce back season where he's just gonna win everything. He's just gonna absolutely just win everything. I believe there's gonna be a point of that at some point.
Could be this season. He did really well the last time he was in my division.
Gun to my head, if I had to pick, it's Easton Fire Mana Water, purely Water, because he hasn't missed a playoffs yet, and he's not gonna let me down. Um, and then I'm gonna pray on Strick's downfall and say Sage. That way I
Okay,
don't have to face Strict in the first round of
fair
playoffs.
enough.
I do have some insider baseball on what I think Sage said he's first picking, and it's hard to fuck up. So
Fair enough. I think for me, I have definitely Easton for sure is making it. I think Fireman too because like he's pretty invested and he usually has pretty good drafts and doesn't troll. Unlike last season he had that one troll, but I think I also gonna have Structure. I think he's also like pretty good. He has usually some solid drafts and plays pretty well. And I think as my last, I'm gonna have Rory as well. Water. I think usually he is pretty determined to make sure he makes playoffs, as Mcfeeds says. So I also believe in him.
I
Pearl Group.
one last note on Diamond before we move on. I'm really curious how well Clipsy does. Last season was their first season, I believe. It was a really weird format. Kind of hard to get your footing in if you're coming from a more traditional VGC background, which I think Chris said they come from.
Yeah.
So having a more traditional format, I'm curious how they do.
Was he the one that drafted the Ogre commander?
Nah, he was the Z move guy.
Oh, okay, okay, makes sense. Poor Paladin, poor guns. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, on to Pearl Group. So I think there's some people I also don't know who are like I don't know
I
who Raging Rages is.
Reggie's,
Oh,
like,
sorry, Reggie's.
Reggie
I
Gigas,
okay.
Reggie
Yeah,
Steele.
yeah. Sorry, bad
Rat.
pronunciation. Sorry.
That I don't know anything about Rat. Everyone else I think we know to some extent.
Yeah.
My easy pick is Chris. My second easy pick is Boop Beep Bop. Outside of that, I think it gets a little harder. I think if you're a betting man, you bet Cherry Jacob as the last two. Cobb had a really strong performance last season. Hopefully, he can ride that into this season. But like prior to last season, I think I would have put him in the bottom half of the league, maybe even the bottom quarter.
Okay.
Um, so hopefully it was, it just took a couple seasons to kind of figure this whole draft thing out, and now he's here. Because he does have some absolutely based Pokemon decisions. Like he fucking loves Toxtricity, and that Pokemon's sweet.
hmm For me, I definitely have Chris for sure up there. Like Chris is probably gonna top this group, I think, unless like something
Yeah, if
crazy
Chris doesn't
happens.
top this group, I'm taking away his admin access.
Oh my god. So I think for sure Chris. I think for me, I have Chelsea as like number two over Beep Bop Boop because I think last season she did pretty well, and she talked about how like she was not really familiar with the Pokemon in that format that we were playing. So I think with like more of like a streamlined format where it's like nothing like complicated, like there's no crazy gimmicks, I think she'll perform better. So I think I'll have her at second. For third, okay, Shirley. I don't know if he's gonna be third or fourth, but surely Chiang is making playoffs. Surely this is like another what's called his time, just like Sage. It's about
Nope,
time he makes
nope.
back the
There's
playoffs.
he's not in a position to draft Mega Gengar. Oh wait, no, he is in a position to draft Mega Gengar. He's second pick. Hmm,
What you're saying? He only performs
maybe
well when he drafts Parrish?
exactly.
Oh my god. Yeah, so Chiang
Maybe I
for
do need
sure,
to revisit this.
and then for sure big I think Big Booty Bronzongs is gonna be there too. So I think those four. I don't know about the 3 and 4 order, but I think I'm pretty confident with Chris and Chelsea being top two.
I had the same opinion as Mcfeeds with Chris and Boop Beep Bop as the top two, and then Cherry and Jacob as the next two. Um,
I was saying, I
there's
think
options for the middle though. Like
yeah.
Chong could surprise and push someone out with a good draft and team, and then EDN Major actually had an okay season last season as well. So there's, and we have the unknown in Rat too, so we don't know how that bottom half's gonna go, but that's just the initial feeling.
Gotcha. I think with Chiang, I don't even know if like he needs to really more improve on his draft. I know he had like that oopsie last season with his draft, but I think he needs to also like improve his play too as well. Because I
I
feel like
think he
there's some
needs to
games
improve his
where
play more than his draft.
yeah, I think there's been some moments where like it left me kind of confused on what's going on. But I guess to be fair, he does a lot of like these gimmicky things as well. So like it's about I guess consistency. How consistent can he get these gimmicky plays off versus like him playing standard?
Needs to learn the gimmick he plays from Mr. Gimmick himself then.
I just think he tunnel visions too hard in general. He gets an idea. It's the only thing. It's like if every tool you have is a hammer, every problem's a nail.
Yeah, but for sure, I'm going to keep my eyes on that diamond group because that diamond group is going to every battle. Since every battle is probably going to matter for sure, it's just going to be so entertaining to watch, especially how they
I
draft.
Can I make
I
another
think so.
complaint, McFeeds? How
Yeah,
many seasons in a row have I been in the group of death? This is
too
like
many.
Too
7
many.
seasons in a row,
Whoa,
I
whoa, whoa,
think.
whoa! Easton, you're part of the reason it's the group of death. Come on, buddy.
Yeah,
I
three-time
mein,
chip winner,
fair,
man.
but
You
like
gotta you gotta
how
forget.
bad is my draw luck on this? Like
Pretty
it
fucking bad.
I think it should be obligated where if you have more than 2 chips, you're going to be drafted in a group of death, and you're the one creating the group of death. So you
No,
technically,
Easton, this is what I said. Instead of promotion relegation, we do that the top 8 is seated in the separate groups.
I don't hate that.
there was also other talks. I think I was having a chat with Coco Puffs about this a couple of days ago, where we're saying, what if me and Chris just do the funny and we just like give Dragonite Darlings and who was it? I think San Sereno an out,
Where you guys
and
just
we
trade
just trade
draft
and
picks with
get
them
in
to
there,
join the Ruby
and then
group?
make it
Yeah.
actually the group of death. That there'd be some collusion with that, but that would be very entertaining.
I
I
would
don't know if
I
I
would
would.
draft Mega Ampharos and enjoy my vacation.
I told you to do that anyway. You didn't listen to
Oh,
me.
I tried, man. I spent like 2 hours cooking Ampharos drafts today, and I can't.
But I think if that was the case, if me and Chris joined in there, and maybe I guess like you get Easton as well, that'd probably be the worst group of all time in the PDL. There's probably nothing that
I
ever
mean,
topped that.
yeah. Congrats, you just put all 7 of the best people in one group. Like if you just threw KOR in there, I think it's objectively the worst it could be.
Or Koopa.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting, but yeah. I guess that's the group draw. So let's just move on to the last part, which is the advice for new players. I think we have a couple of new players, or like we have a decent amount of new players that we just saw in that group draw, right? So any
Yeah, they're all in
advice,
Sapphire group.
any advice you'd give them for starting out?
Uh, I think just going back to what McFeed said not too long ago in regards to like pigeonholing into just one specific thing in your draft, be very open for variety. Um, as a 3-time PDL winner, one thing that helped me with both drafting and team building was to always have my options open for different types of play. Don't think of if you're only drafting like a trick room team that you shouldn't have balance options available to you and it over index on stuff. Just keep the variety open and you'll do well.
I
McFeeds?
McFeed's here, about to completely contradict Easton. If you are a draft league player who understands what they're doing, flexibility is OP. It's stupid OP. You will do very well with it. However, if you have literally zero idea what you're doing, this is your first time playing draft, and you've played ladder teams, and you're like, oh my god, what do I do when I don't have Incineroar to check X, Y, or Z? it is way easier to pick 3 Pokemon, find a lane, stay in that lane with those 3 Pokemon. So, for example, I first pick Archaludon, I second pick Basculegion, I third pick Pelipper. My lane is Rain. I will do rain things. My team will function. I won't have a mess of random picks that do nothing, and my draft is unsalvageable.
Unsalvageable drafts are the fun part.
I
Yeah,
agree.
for some people.
I think it's like a skill level thing. If you're like really new and you literally have no idea what you're doing, come into the draft with a game plan. Pick 3 Pokemon. Draft those 3 Pokemon. Do not pivot. Do not scout. Hold hands. Like do well.
If you're familiar with competitive battling, follow my advice and look for
Yeah,
variety.
100%. A couple things that I think on this format that we touched on. Not all types are created equal. I think that should very much influence your decisions on what you're picking. For example, there are a lot of really good water types in this format. We love Basculegion. He's the GOAT. But there are a lot of really good water types in this format. So why am I wasting my first pick on a water type?
True.
Conversely, the electric types are terrible.
And steel and ground.
There's some
And
good steel
bug.
types.
Fair enough. I think maybe the reason why steel typing is not looking as appealing is because if you already have your mega, then like there's like a lot of megas in there, which makes it kind of tough
That's
to
true. That's true.
pick which
Yeah.
steel type. But
If you are a new person, I would highly recommend picking your mega first round or second round, even if it is a lower tier mega. That way you are guaranteed to get what you want. You're guaranteed to build around what you're planning, and you're not having to scramble on draft day, because most of the time people get crazy weird drafts that are non-functional. It's because they went, holy shit, all my picks are sniped, I don't know what to do.
yeah,
And again, the sniping is the fun part.
if you're very good at building on the fly, but if you're not, then yeah, like McPhee said, stick in your lane. Try to just stay in the same area of those kind of like archetype of Pokemon that you're
Like
drafting.
I would I'm not saying like do a full 12 Pokemon draft, follow it to the T. I'm saying come in a draft, pick 3 to 5 Pokemon of like varying tiers. They don't all have to be in a row. They don't have to be this is my first pick, this is my second pick, this is my third pick. Maybe like leave yourself some wiggle room with like this is my first pick, this is my second pick, my third pick can be anything, and I'm gonna draft like a 10-point Pokemon for my fourth pick that fits well with the first 2. Um that way you have a lane, you have a game plan, you're not having to pivot, you're not having to scramble, because it will help you a lot more.
Yeah, for
And
me,
now,
And
if
on
you're
top
trying to
of
win the
that,
league, Easton's absolutely right. Stay open, pick up the weird shit, end up with a Fluttermane Chi-Yu draft, like, have fun.
Easton is the king of drafting like very versatile and having a lot of Pokemon that are like kind of like uncontested that no one really wants to draft and everyone will just critique his draft afterwards and be like, this team doesn't look very good. But then like Easton just makes it work because that's just Easton's playstyle. But yeah, for me, I think first and foremost, take a look at that PDL, not the PDL, sorry, but like that team builder sheet that we have. I think it's
Oh yeah, yeah.
somewhere in
It is
the
it is
pin
pinned
somewhere.
in PDL info. It is the team burb team builder document. It is actually OP.
Yeah.
I have it marked as draft prep help sheet.
Yeah, really good. I think be careful though because I think if you have it on the new formats of champs or champs Nadex or whatever it is, the fairy dragon steel or something on the far right of the type chart does not work. So you might have to go back between like Nadex or Scarlet and Violet and go back and forth to make sure that the type chart's working. But yeah, that's a really good place to start. It just like lets you just figure out a lot of stuff. Just puts everything in one place. Figure out your type chart, figure out like your like the moves that these Pokemon have, the pointing. It just makes your life a lot easier. And
Speed
then
tiers, bulk.
yeah, oh yeah, you also get like the stats and stuff like that you can take a look at as well. I think the second thing is I think in your first season, I think try to like make your mentality more of like a learning season and try to pick up as much as you can from the season because you're definitely gonna verse some people that have maybe some like not very common stuff or like maybe there's some moves that are like not too niche but like it's not very popular that you won't hear of. So like you should try to like learn as much as you can from this season and then try to like take your learnings to the next season and try to improve upon that is like a very good like mentality to start off with. Unless like I don't
Hey
know,
Thunder.
yeah.
What the fuck's a boom blast?
True. What is a boom blast? Speaking about that, I kind of forgot. Does Boomer not sign up again?
No, he didn't want to play.
Oh, that's sad. I liked when Swear was playing. But
But he had no idea what a lot of moves did. He had a very one-dimensional, very focused game plan draft, and he won his division, his rookie split, or no, his second split. His rookie split, he made playoffs though.
yeah. So I think like if you're trying to just like improve upon yourself, like I think having that mentality is like pretty good because I think there's a lot of people that have come in their first season had no clue what the hell was going on, learned a lot from the first season, and then like they like already like kind of like picked up a lot of stuff going to season two. But if you just want to be like competitive from the right from the get go, I think the best thing I can tell you is like just join the Discord server, message the people around the Discord server. Like a lot of people that are always like kind of in the VC team building, team prepping, whatever. Just try to talk to them and try to like ask them like what you think is good, what you think is bad, like how should I play. Like a lot of people like myself, I think Mcfeeds and Easton for sure would be able to like help out as well. I think it's like your best advantage, just like just staying around the community, asking what's good and
Yeah.
stuff.
Hi, hello. If you need draft prep, either group, literally just message me. I will flat out tell you what my first two picks are this season. I'm not gonna change them at this point. Like, I will help you with your first couple picks and tell you what you can build your team around. Will I plan your entire draft for you if you're on my day? Probably not. But if you're on Sunday, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just know most PDL veterans are willing to help out a newcomer anyway, and even like PDL veterans will help people that aren't newcomers. You know, everyone's just here to have fun.
Yeah, I
So
swear, I do Chris's draft every season.
Yeah.
no wonder. No wonder.
Uh,
Nah, he usually sends me a couple ideas, and I tell him you're weak to this, and then he goes, "Yeah, what about it?"
True. But yeah, I'm sure for the next week and a half until that the weekend of draft comes around, you're probably gonna see a lot of people like in the Discord just like kind of chilling, like making some for fun drafts, some like like some nice drafts and stuff like this. So you'll definitely be able to get like a lot of good ideas out of that. Other than that, is there anything else you guys want to add on? Is there anything you want to talk about like in the PDL for this season, like for the new people, like how it's gonna work or anything like this, McFeeds?
Oh, this season is a little weird in that there's not a single unified format under Showdown for you to do team building under. Um, as such, you are smart people. I believe in your ability to put all of your Pokemon that are in Pokemon Champions into a Pokemon Champions format and verify that they are legal. And then put all of your Pokemon that are not under Pokemon Champions into a Gen 9 format and verify that they are legal. And then combine those into one holistic team.
Good call.
Um, I'm still testing the string. It has a couple of bugs with some stuff, but I'll get it ironed out soon-ish, and it'll be in PDL info. But there's not going to be a team validator this season in Showdown. It's on you. Also, because it's on you, and because the string isn't going to be able to catch every single edge case, because I'm not a psychopath, there is an update in the rules doc. The rules doc is finished for the season. Please read it. It very explicitly calls out if you are caught doing things you are not supposed to be doing, i.e., not running a Mega Stone on a Pokemon that you drafted as a Mega, or running a move that a Pokemon doesn't get in Pokemon Champions but got in previous generations. Uh, your first offense will be a game loss if it is caught during the game. If it is not caught during the game and caught after the fact, it will just be a warning. Your second offense will be an automatic kick from the season and potentially a ban from the league.
You don't want to be on the ban list. We do not have very many people on that ban list.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other things you guys want to chime on for this season, admin wise?
That's all I've
I'm,
got.
I'm working on a website. Check it out. It'll get updated regularly as I push new stuff. There's not really much on it right now. I'm hoping to get the draft board on there before draft so people can use that for team building stuff, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, if that's everything, I guess for me, stay tuned to this YouTube channel. There's probably gonna be some other content from other various other people in the space. There's probably gonna be a couple of commentary ones. We'll have a mid-season review. We'll probably have some kind of end-season review as well, like or like something before like playoff starts and like figure out like how the season go and stuff like this. So keep in tune for that. I am also trying to update and fix the power rankings, so hopefully we're gonna have that for this season as well. So just to have a little bit more fun with content. But other than that, thanks for tuning in. It was a pretty lengthy episode, so I hope you are here till the end. And we'll see you later with the future content, and good luck with the rest of the season. Bye, guys.